Chris, is it finally time for Lonzo to push back against his father?
No question.
Right.
Absolutely. Definitive. I can't think of enough words to say this. Look, Lonzo should have pushed back after the comments about Luke Walton losing the team, if not earlier. Because this, of all the things LaVar Ball has said, he said some silly things. He said some crazy things. This may be the most ridiculous thing and the most damaging thing that he has said, because he is on the verge of getting Lonzo Ball traded. It's not going to be your choice to leave the Lakers. They may send you away. First of all, the timing is horrible. The Lakers are playing the best ball of their season while Lonzo is out with injury. They're 8-5. Oh, and by the way, his replacement at point guard, Brandon Ingram, is killing it. Now, people told me beginning of the season in the Lakers organization that Luke really likes Brandon at point. He wasn't saying instead of Lonzo, but he was just saying he really could play the point guard, Luke believes. Now they've put him at point guard. He's averaging 20 points, 6 assists, 56% shooting, and 67% shooting from three. Okay, so that is just all wrong. Then you got this. The Lakers, we know, who do they want this summer? LeBron James. This is a deterrent. LaVar's shenanigans are a deterrent to LeBron James going to the Lakers. I'm not saying Lonzo has to be traded for LeBron to go there, but LaVar does need to zip his lip for LeBron to go there. LeBron does not want to go join a circus, and that is what this is. It's getting to a point where Lonzo Ball is going to have to be a tremendous player, not to stay with the Lakers, but to stay in the league. It's a simple thing of, does your ability and what you bring on the court outweigh the distraction? And if Lonzo turns out to be just a solid NBA starter, then most teams aren't going to want him because dad is too much of a distraction. And so you can debate whether or not LaVar has already ruined the careers of his younger boys or their chances to get to the NBA, but he is now getting very close to ruining the career of Lonzo. So, yeah, we could say more later about this, but Lonzo needs to step up and quiet his dad down.
Chris, here's the problem. Lonzo is not that guy. LaVar has been a dominating dad. You could just see it. Lonzo won't step to him. Lonzo could be 50 years old, and his dad would still run the conversation and dictate the family. That's just the guy he is. So if I'm Magic Johnson, I'm Rob Pelinka, I already know what I want to do. I'm going to make a move, not pushing them towards a trade. I would trade. His play isn't worth it. Not this, because you just said it. This organization, with all the championships, all the being a storied franchise, all that, they're going to have a problem attracting free agents. They had it with Kobe at the end of his career. They had cap space. Yep. Nobody would come. Dwight Howard left $30 million on the table not to be a part of the Lakers. And now you got this. LeBron's not coming here for this, not in his final 3 or 4 years where he's trying to win a championship. And LaVar, I think, in this situation, gets worse if Lonzo plays better. If he's talking like this, and the kid's shooting 36%, which is the worst of all rookies in the NBA, you won't be able to stop this guy if the kid's decent. You know what I mean?
That's right.
He's going to be out there and more. And this whole notion like a threat. Oh, he's telling the Lakers already? If I'm Magic, you're threatening that he's not going to resign? This kid's not even playing. He's busy making mixtapes.
Right.
I mean, are you serious?
He's leveraging his own son.
Right. And the other part from Magic's legacy and him and even Rob Pelinka, dude, you got to nip this in the bud. You're setting a precedent where other fathers coming along the road will say, how do I get attention? How do I build a brand? You know what? I'm outlandish. I say crazy stuff. I push the envelope. And you know what? I'm going to get attention. Yeah. I'm going to be able to do what LaVar did. And I think at some point, because it's got to be the Lakers taking the lead, waiting for a 20-year-old whose dad has dominated his entire life, be it good, bad, or indifferent, is never going to change. I never see Lonzo Ball stepping to his dad and saying, Dad, be quiet. It's my life, my career, and I don't want to hear from you. Because he could have done that when he destroyed Luke Walton and said the players didn't want to play for him. You know what his response was? Well, I'll play for anybody. That's not what I wanted to hear. Yeah. I wanted to hear Luke Walton is a great coach. I love what he's doing. And my dad is dead wrong. The players haven't quit. That's not what he said. So I'm telling you, if you're Magic, Rob Pelinka, you guys need to really think about it if you're serious about rebuilding this franchise and trying to win a championship.
I agree. But here's a problem. Like, Lonzo should have some pushback. But Lonzo Ball has not been in control of his own life since he was born, apparently. Like, LaVar has controlled everything from the jump. We see it with his two younger brothers. And more than...
You're in Lithuania.
More than Lonzo, he's impacting these two young men, their career, their education, and their chances of even being entertained by the NBA. Like, bottom line, he's so turbulent to where you know what the Lakers are dealing with. What other team, what other franchise wants to deal with that? And they're not as glorified as the LA Lakers. But if the Lakers are trying to attract off-season acquisitions a la Paul George, LeBron James, these caliber guys, they're not going to be willing to put up with all the antics that are not even in the locker room. When you have to deal with outside distractions, LaVar being that, and as turbulent as he is, that's not attractive to guys who are proven, who have won. LeBron James, they're not about trying to babysit. They're trying to play ball and win games. Another note, when I look at what LaVar Ball is doing, you say other dads potentially will start to do this. He will be a trend. I don't think other dads will be able to do this because he is so almost dominating when it comes to his personality. When you look at the personality of Magic, very passive, very likable guy. He's not the one that's going to put the hammer down. I just don't see Magic doing it. So LaVar is going to continue to press the envelope because he's not getting any pushback. Luke Walton, he's not going to give any pushback. His son, Lonzo, he's not going to give any pushback. So until somebody does it, he's going to continue to do it. And I don't think other dads will be as aggressive. They may try, but when you look at the backlash and the blowback that he will get or sons will get, it's not really worth it.
But I'm looking at it from this standpoint. Just the Facebook deal he got. I don't know. They said $15 million that they signed for that. If I'm a dad and I'm like, well,
exactly.
I can work my own thing and make a distraction, make noise, and the dads that they pay attention to are the ones who make noise. He's been the one who's been able to do it.
And some dads would say, okay, he turned down the money from Adidas, but that was $10 million. You know, you could get that money too. So, yeah, we all know, whether you watch Little League or you coach Little League or high school, there are parents like this. There might be few and far between, but there are guys like this. Magic, even though he's nice and personable, he will put the hammer down behind closed doors, or if he gets pushed enough, he'll put it down. My thing with Magic is the only leverage he has is trading. He doesn't want to get in a public back and forth with LaVar.
No,
that's the last thing he wants to do.
It's a bad look.
One of two things has to happen. He either has to meet with LaVar and say, I'm trading Lonzo, or I will trade him if you don't be quiet, or just trade him. Or Lonzo. I think Lonzo is the only guy.
He has to be.
He's the only guy that can shut his dad down. And look, don't step to him like, Dad, cool, I don't want to hear it from you. Don't step to him with your chest out. Step to him as a son. Dad, come on. I love playing for the Lakers. This has been my dream my whole life. You know, I mean, just please cool out. As I had a very authoritative father. He wasn't LaVar Ball. He was very authoritative. But at a certain point, you have to become a man. And my dad, I've never asked him about where I should go work. Should I leave this job? Should I take this assignment? I have to be my own man. LaVar is not teaching Lonzo how to be his own man. Right now, Lonzo's 20. Lonzo's making the millions. He's the one that should,
He's got
really.
a baby on the way. He's
Exactly.
going to be a father.
And you talking about 3 years from now, you're going to tell him to leave. Man, please. And so, Lonzo, look, the final thing, Lonzo needs to step up because the players are looking at you. Men are not going to follow you if they see you as a daddy's boy.
So one thing I was thinking of, maybe becoming a father changes that, Rob. You think so, maybe?
Possibly, but he's so domineering. And the other thing, when people asked him the last time about some of the comments about Luke Walton, his response was, he's a grown man. I can't tell him what to say. So right there tells me that he's not in position or not grown enough or feel grown enough, maybe with the birth of a child or something, or really when he feels like, my career's in jeopardy here. Like, You know what I mean? Maybe he has to be pushed to where he really understands that this could all end and no one would want to deal with this. And I know people are going to say, oh, what's the big deal? Just play basketball. It's bigger. And I think what you brought up about teammates is really, and Greg, you can speak to this. If I'm in that locker room, I don't know if I really want to confide and talk to you and open up to you and be, right? Because I don't know if that's going to go to your ears, to your dad.
You probably assume it will.
Right?
Absolutely.
You would assume it will.
And then all of a sudden your dad's attacking me at some point over
It's on
something I
Instagram
said.
all of a sudden.
Right.
You make a great point. The point about the teammate, the team camaraderie, the team building relationships. When you have success, it's not just on the field. You have relationships that you develop off of the field. What I see with Lonzo Ball, he has a very close relationship with his siblings and his dad. But his siblings specifically, when you listen to his mixtapes, they're back and forth, they're banter, they challenge one another, they get on one another, but they hang out. They're boys, they're brothers, so they will stay together. When you're in a locker room, that's what you become. You become family. You become boys. You tell each other the things that you wouldn't tell anybody else, or you wouldn't really say to the coach, or you wouldn't say to management. But to your point, if Lonzo is so in with his dad, who's to say that he won't tell his dad? His dad will then use that against them.
Right.
So it's like you can't trust a guy like that when you have him in his locker room. Not because it's directly him, but it's because of who he's associated with. Sure. And so guilty by association. Yeah. I mean, it's happened more than in sports. In life, Lonzo has to nip it. To your point, he has to be the one to do it. I don't think, even if Magic says something, I still think that LaVar will continue to do what he does. The only person that can put a muzzle, some sort of muzzle on his father is Lonzo Ball.
Well, he is hurting. I do think that LaVar, with all his bluster, may have gotten Lonzo drafted by the Lakers. Like, if he was just a...
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, if he was a normal dad and we didn't know anything about him, the Lakers may have taken De'Aaron Fox. They might not have felt the pressure because there was so much buildup and hype now that you have to take Lonzo.
And
he's a local
kid who played at UCLA. Right. If they pass, say, Magic, here's his first big draft, he passes and he became a star, Magic would get killed, right? Local kid in the backyard. What? How could you not scout him? How come you didn't know? So they were almost forced into taking him. And then the buildup from the dad, I agree.
But see, now he's hurting. To this point, he's hurting Lonzo's career. Number one, we saw how Lonzo was under far more scrutiny than any other rookie. Like, even early in the season when he wasn't playing that well, he wasn't playing as badly as a lot of rookies. You weren't hearing about Josh Jackson in Phoenix and his struggles, and De'Aaron Fox in Sacramento. You were hearing about Lonzo.
So Magic also
played into it, too.
What did he say? Face of the franchise, his numbers.
Compared to him.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tall order.
That shows Magic was clearly drinking the Kool-Aid of LaVar, too. He needs to chill with that. But the second thing is this. One thing that could keep the Lakers from trading Lonzo, what's his trade value? Because remember, he's not making a lot of money because he's on this rookie contract, relatively speaking. Secondly, what team wants him? Not because he can't play, but what team wants to deal with this madness that LaVar is bringing? So even if I'm not saying you can't trade him. You can, but there are a lot of teams that think, First of all, the kid is not going to be special as a player anyway. Secondly, a lot that are far less equipped to deal with this than the Lakers and Magic.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.